So today we have Darren Cabral. Is it Darren Cabral or Darren Cabral?
Cabral.
Cabral.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start over again slowly. So today we have Darren Cabral with us, and we are going to be discussing how investors can leverage social media and build their brand and grow their real estate business. So thanks for being with us, Darren.
My pleasure. I'm honored to be here, truly.
I like the shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to rep the brand whenever I can. It also makes it a little easier in the morning. You got to think about what to wear. Just grab whatever has your company name on it, and that's the outfit for the day.
Yep.
Well, everyone, Darren Cabral is the CEO of Suits Social and a social media marketing agency ranked as one of the top 3 social agencies in Canada by Clutch.co. And he's the host of Obscurity to Authority podcast. And that's a professional he's a professional social media marketer, a real estate investor as well, which is great for us here, and a public speaker. From plumbing apprentice to marketing agency CEO, Darren's journey has been anything but straightforward. And after selling multiple projects and small businesses before the age of 22, Darren fell in love with the process of marketing and scaling businesses through social media. Then late 2016, he doubled down on his strengths and launched his own marketing agency, Suits Social Inc., and now helping businesses around the world unlock the full potential of social media as a business growth engine. So a lot of cool stuff there, and a real estate guy a little bit at least. So that's fantastic. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you so much. That was a great intro, man. I just need you following me around everywhere. Good stuff.
Yeah, I like that. And you know what I'm really interested in is this, how you've, what does it say? You sold a couple of businesses before the age of 22. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So can I just go right back to the beginning? Can I go from there?
Sure.
Okay. So basically how that happened was, as Sandy mentioned, so I started as a plumbing apprentice. That was my very first career. So not entrepreneurial at all. I was just like, how can I make money? I didn't like being in an office. As you know, plumbers are high paid. It attracted me. I could work with my hands. So I did that. Didn't pan out. Like a couple years in, I was working a lot with my hands. We were doing a lot of industrial, a lot of heavy, unenjoyable stuff. There's different tiers of plumbing. For those who don't know, it can range from like residential construction to industrial construction to service. It's very different. I tried a little bit of all of it. Didn't love it. 2 years went by. I was really struggling mentally. I'm like, I know I can do more than this. I know I can do more than that. And no disrespect to anyone doing it. A lot of my friends still do it. It wasn't for me. And there was one particular day I was breaking frozen dirt with a pickaxe for about 6 hours. And I remember that was the first entrepreneur trigger where I go, there's no way that my cumulative value can be breaking this dirt with a pickaxe, although it taught me great lessons. And that's when I started searching. I started figuring out how I could get out of it, what else I could do. I didn't know. I ended up getting an injury, so I made the decision for me. I was off for 6 months with a knee injury from a fall. And in that was when I started kind of nurturing that entrepreneurial tick that I had, which was basically, okay, how can I go out? I'm on this workman's comp type thing for 6 months. I can't really walk much. How can I start making money? I can't get a job because they'll cut off workman's comp, but I still want to do something because I'm getting bored. So that was basically the start of the first project. So what I did was I started a drain cleaning company. That was the first one, where I would hire kind of my friends on the side who were working for the main company would now work for me. And they would run out and do these drain cleaning calls. But the way I got the jobs was I would run ads originally on Kijiji, which was like back then, and a little bit of social media. I would get leads. I would tell the guys, okay, there's a drain cleaning job at this house, and they would go. We got to the point where we had 2 or 3 guys doing that. They were using their own equipment. We bought more of our own equipment. I was still doing it all from home. That obviously eventually capped out and got a little boring. So I got all the equipment we had. So that's why I say projects, not full businesses, but I got all the equipment. I went to one of the guys that was helping me. I go, you can buy all this off me. I'll give you the marketing system. You can take it, pay me out, and I'm bored. That was the first one. That led to, okay, I don't want to touch plumbing. Let's get a little deeper. That was a Shopify store. So I created this online site that sold women's athletic apparel. That was from plumbing to women's athletic apparel. And we made it a drop shipping website. And basically, we stocked it with all these different, for those who don't know, drop shipping is basically, I don't have any inventory. So you're buying something and I'm forwarding that order to a manufacturer and they're fulfilling it. So I'd fill the store with that. Drove all our traffic through Pinterest ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, all that stuff. Drove all that to the site and started getting sales. A month in, we got our sales to like a few $1,000s a month. And again, I was like, okay, bored again. I have this weird thing at that time. And I sold that to some woman in the States in Washington. She bought that off me, took over the dropshipping store, changed the brand, built it out even more. Then that was when the first time I got sick. I'm like, I can't keep just doing projects. I need a real business. So that was number 2. Number 3, and this all happened very quick. Number three was the first real business was an aerial photography company. I know I'm sounding crazy and went from plumbing to clothes there. So we bought a bunch of drones and we started doing aerial photography and video for literally everybody, like fire departments, real estate agents. We did a lot of properties, actually, a lot of real estate. We did a lot of work with commercials, TV, land surveying, agriculture, built that up. That was the first real company. Had employees working for us. We were out every single day. That was the good days of drones before it got bogged down with so many regulations. And I got acquired by a large kind of tech company that's in more of the education space, like that. They do the certifications for drone training now. And they basically brought the whole team in, all our equipment, all our clients for equity. And then basically we had to sign a bunch of like non-competes and all that. The founding team did not mesh well with where we're going. They put me in an office, made me kind of do paperwork all day. And again, was the opposite of what I wanted. So I got out, they bought me out. And I had to start from scratch. This was now 2.5 years ago, and that's where we are now. So those all sold. I started after that Suit Social because I'm like, listen, the one thing I had in common, I built all those businesses on the back of social media. I was too young to know any better. I didn't know what regular marketing was. I just knew that I could get on social, get on the internet, and drive leads and sales. And I knew that I could do that for other people. And I saw how big social media was getting. And so I started Suit Social. Now that's where I am. So that's kind of the long story.
Funny, I think for most people that would take a lot of awareness that seems to come naturally to you, right? People don't think about stuff like that, especially like the foundation of where their business was being driven from, I think.
Right.
They might think, well, one was a plumbing business, one was athletic apparel, and the third was aerial photography. And I guess really when you do look at how different those are, it makes sense that they were all sort of tied together by the same thing. You do have a bit of a background in real estate investing as well. So do you want to tell us how you got into that?
Yeah, 100%. So the real estate investing thing was, my dad has always been dabbling in real estate since I was young. Never very successfully at first, just because trial and error. He didn't know. He was trying to buy. It was how can I make gains in the long term? Like, we'll hold it, we'll lose money for 2 years, but we'll sell it and it'll have appreciation. And that never really worked. So it never really took off. But he always was dabbling, and so I saw it from a young age. When I got that entrepreneurial space I'm in now, I start to look at the real estate and I start to talk to him about it. I'm like, listen, we can do something with, like, you've had a passion for it. I've always really loved it. I think we can do it better than we've been doing it. And so together with him, we went on this kind of, and it was never my intention to run it. It was like, let me just jumpstart with him and then it can be his thing. So we went on this journey together and we started going to like all the real estate training events we could get to. Like we did the Scott McGillivray, we did those, we did the Rockstar, we did the Rain, we did everything we could touch. We read every book by Don Campbell originally, just went through, like tore through all those. And we came up with the concept that, yeah, we can do this. We can build an actual company around this. Actually, the funny thing is the first person that got us into that, we heard them on your podcast, which I think was Martin. Yeah, I think that was Martin. And we're like, oh, we should reach out to this guy. He's doing investing. Like, he knows what we want to do. And we reached out and we sat down with him for coffee and we asked him all these questions. And that was we're like, we can do that. We can do the same thing. So we started this company called Primo Investment. I built up the brand, the logos, the websites, the concept. I helped him launch one of his first events. I got a bunch of people in a room to hear about it. And it's kind of been running ever since. So that's the company he now runs. My brother is our contractor on the ground with that. So he does all the actual legal suite conversions. We do it in-house. So he runs all that. And I kind of just watch from above, hear the problems, and try to guide, because my main business is Suit Social, obviously. But that's my background. But we now work with a bunch of real estate investors. And obviously it's something I hear about every single day. And I keep a pulse on, and I love, and I plan to go in deeper in the next few years too.
We did an interview recently with your dad too. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's up there too. I can't remember exactly what number it is. It's not that far back though.
It's a few
60-something, 67, 8, somewhere in there, I would say.
Yeah. So if anyone's interested in hearing about his dad's company, which he helped start there, that's kind of interesting. You can go back and get some of that info as well. Now, what would you say is the most effective social media channel for investors? Because we're going to sort of focus on the fact that most people listening are probably small time investors just starting out for the most part.
Sure. So see, this is a tough one, and we get this in every industry. There's always the question of which one should I be on, because we have limited time, limited resources. There's a two-part answer to this. There's not necessarily going to be one right one for everybody, because it's not as important by industry sometimes as it is your own personal traits. For example, if you're great on video, if you can make great video and talk and speak and inspire and actually create that content, YouTube video could be very, very powerful, right? YouTube could be a great resource if you're putting out content every single day. If you're not great on video, it doesn't matter if YouTube's good because it won't come out good because that's not your strength. So maybe LinkedIn and long format articles will be a lot more powerful. So the way we figure this out is kind of first, the individual has to find out what their strength is. Are you a better writer? Are you great with images and photography? Are you great with video content and speaking? So first find the strength, and then you find the channel that aligns with that. But the second part is you can actually do all of them. You can do all of them without adding any extra work to your plate for the most part. And how you do that is like this. There's a strategy, and this is how you can literally do this to get across every social media channel. There's a strategy that Gary Vee, if you guys don't know him, Gary Vaynerchuk, look him up. He came up with, it's in one of his last books, and it's called the pillar strategy. So what he says is you don't have to create unique content necessarily from scratch for every single channel. You pick one pillar. So let's say you determine what I said, and your strength is video content. So you go, my strength is video. I can make video. Video becomes your pillar. You make long format 20 to 30 minute videos. In the case of real estate investors, educational. You want to show your expertise. You want to become the authority. You want to show you know what you're talking about. You want to educate, train, long format 20, 30 minutes. You upload those to YouTube. Then you cut small clips of things you said that maybe were very powerful, 60 seconds. Just cut that out. That becomes your Instagram post for the day. Transcribe that through Fiverr or yourself, and that becomes your blog post and your LinkedIn long format. And any variation of those two can become your Facebook. So now your one piece of content becomes every single channel. One will outperform the other, obviously, but now you have coverage across all of them without having to create completely unique from scratch. So tons of time savings. So all of them are very important. If I had to choose, I still think Facebook is one of the biggest staples because its video platform is so powerful now. Its ad platform is 100,000 times beyond everybody else's. So Facebook's, I think, a huge staple, and YouTube would be very powerful, and LinkedIn if you're a great writer. So again, they're all great, but if you can get content on all of them, that's your best bet.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, no, I saw that. I downloaded something from Gary Vee on that topic not too long ago. Saw the pillars. That makes a lot of sense for sure. It's not that actually not that complicated, really. You just have to do the work.
100%.
How do you determine then what you're going to spend on maybe Facebook or any sort of ads on these? Like, how do you figure out that budget? Or how does all that work?
Yeah. So a big part, there's two ways to use social media, right? The first one we call organic. That's when you're just posting. You're posting, you're hoping, you're growing your audience, and that's all fine and dandy. But there's another part, which we're referring to here, which is the paid advertising. So if you actually want to run ads for a specific purpose, and I'll explain the difference on that too while I'm there. Organic is very much brand building. It's getting that consistent content out, building that community. But a big part of it nowadays, especially Facebook and Instagram, is your content's not getting out to your whole audience. You have 100,000 followers, maybe 5,000 are seeing when you're posting. So how do you get beyond that? You turn to paid advertising. One, to extend the reach of that content. But the other thing with paid advertising is you can create specific campaigns. So let's say you want more joint venture partners. You need more JVs coming in. You can build a whole funnel with something like ClickFunnels, landing pages, opt-ins, automated webinars, and drive tons of traffic to that with Facebook ads. But the big question is, how do you know how much to spend? Like, do we start at $100 a month, $10,000 a month? What's needed? The good thing about it is it's totally variable. So Facebook, you could start with as little as $1 and as high as like literally $1 million a day. There's no cap and there's no minimum. So how you determine it is we basically this process we do with all of our clients. The first step is you have to determine what's your client lifetime value. So in this case, if it's a JV, what's a JV worth to you? And that just means, if you don't know how to figure that out, when you bring on a JV, what business do you typically do? Do you do one property with them in the course of 12 months? What does that property typically net you in the past? That's your lifetime value. If you do 4 transactions with them a year, what do those 4 equal? That's that JV's lifetime value. So you don't want to go off what's the value once, lifetime. Once you find the lifetime value, you ask yourself, how much am I willing to spend to acquire one customer based on lifetime value? So if the lifetime value is, let's say, 20 grand, how much am I reasonably able to spend if I know I can acquire a customer that's going to make $20,000 with me in the course of the next 12 months? We recommend you go at least 20 to 30% of that on a low end. If you're familiar with a lot of those other groups out there, like Rockstar, they've mentioned many times in their training that they spend more upfront. They lose money acquiring their customer because they know their lifetime value is so large. So the first transaction maybe is $100, but they're going to spend another $6,000 over the course of 12 months. So we'll spend $400 to get them. So that's big, but I'm saying be conservative. I'm saying pick, especially for investors, because it's so high, you don't want to spend 70 grand acquiring your investor. But take 30% of what you're going to make with them. That's your budget. So if it's 10 grand for even number, you'd have to spend at least $3,000 to acquire that one. Now, how do you break that down to ad spend? If you have a $3,000 budget per customer, and that's reasonable now. There's no emotion in this. There's no speculation in this. It's that they're worth this much. I'll spend this much to get that. When you have that number, so we go, it's $3,000. How do you break that down to actually month by month? All you have to ask yourself is, how many customers do you want? So you go, okay, I could do one new JV a month. Well, your ad budget should be about $3,000 a month, right? And then you break that down into cost per leads. Now, if you're hoping that one customer you can spend $3,000 to acquire, how many leads can you get for that $3,000? What do you have to convert? So let's say you had $100 a lead. You'd have to get 30 leads and close one in every 30 leads, and you get one customer. So now it all becomes very logical. Is that kind of making sense, or am I going too techie?
No, that makes perfect sense.
That's pretty, yeah, that makes for sure. That's a good, like you said, you can work, you get someone, you can overpay, and I mean, it's kind of case by case, right? But it's a good thing to work off of, for sure. It's hard to even come up with, I think most people struggle to even come up with a model that is, makes any sort of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
There for us. I think that's actually sort of piece by piece showing us exactly where it all goes and how it all works. So, I mean, you could probably break it down more than that, but I think most of the people listening will be able to grasp onto what you're going for there.
Good. I'm glad.
So there's the money side of it. What about the time side? Because people can spend their whole life on the social media. I mean, some people do in a negative way, but there's, from a business perspective, how much time are you going to be spending on to do this stuff? How much time should somebody spend on this to actually get some results out of it? Yeah.
So the time thing's also a great one because it's so variable. It all depends. If you're a new investor and you have abundance of time still in your hands, use as much as possible. But if you're a busy person, maybe you're working a full-time job still, you're investing on the side, you're just getting started, trying to build that freedom, trying to get your first couple of deals, you don't really have the time. You got kids, you got a job, you got the investments. You don't need much. And we tie this in. Remember we talked about that pillar strategy? We tie this into that. Because when you have a pillar strategy, so go back to the beginning and we say, hey, your pillar is going to be video. What you do is, if you know that you can make one long format video, and that becomes a post for all your channels, 4 channels. And you say, I want to have content at least minimum 3 times a week. You can shoot 3 videos. How quickly? You can spend one day and shoot 3 videos. That'll probably take you an hour and a bit. So block off a day. Say I'm going to spend 4 hours. I'm going to shoot 9 videos. Now I have content for the whole month. You did it in 1/2 of a day. You edit all that up overnight, or you just outsource that, and you pre-schedule. There's tools like, there's one called Buffer. Buffer's a big one. Hootsuite's another one. Sprout Social's another one if you want to Google these. And these tools let you pre-schedule content. So once you have that content made, on the same day, you can put it all into a tool that'll auto-schedule. So now you've taken one day to do your social media content, and your month is basically done. And then when you have spare time, you can interject things that are current in between as you feel fit, but you have a core and a base. So I would say if you could spend even just 3 to 4 hours a week, you'd be above and beyond if you make use of planning and schedule tools. You'll be able to get content out. And I've actually, I was at a little bit of a workshop / mastermind recently with Craig Ballantyne. I think he's actually speaking somewhere. I think he's speaking at Rockstar next week. But anyway, I was in a workshop with him, and we had this guy there who's this huge fitness influencer, and he has this genius method so he doesn't waste time. Because a lot of people, the content's one thing. Like, you do all your content, but then you get sucked in checking your comments all day, your likes all day, responding to DMs all day, and that really consumes your time more than and that's not as valuable. So what this guy does is he has his content scheduled from now till December. It's already done. And then what he does is he gives himself a half-hour window a day to use social media, but he gives himself that half-hour window after whenever his post is supposed to be scheduled. So if Monday at 2 p.m. his post goes out, he's already has a 30-minute block. He only engages, he only checks comments, DMs in that 30 minutes, and he's done. So he caps out. So all of his content, all of his engagement, all of his comments, all of his DMs, his entire social effort, and that's a big social effort, at 30 minutes a day total. That's high end. You could do a very high level at just that time. If you want to do a very low level, you don't have to produce any content. And that's something we didn't talk about. You don't have to post anything. You can build simply ads. And that's what we do for a lot of our clients. We go into their back end, we go into a thing called Ads Manager, and we create campaigns for their goals. You want more leads, you want more JVs, you want to build your list. We do it all behind the scenes. Facebook ads, they're built once, they run 24/7. There's no work almost ever on your end. So that's another app. So there's a whole range of answers there. Does that kind of answer the question?
Yeah, it does perfectly.
Absolutely.
So, but one thing I wanted to ask you though is that what you guys do? So you will take the video and you'll break it down and you will put it out to all the platforms. Yeah, and in a lot of cases with our clients, we even shoot the video too, and that's one of the advantages of working with us. Sometimes they create depending what it is. Sometimes we create depending what it is, and that's what we do. We'll chop that down. But usually now, our agency works 90% on just the ad side because that's where all the profit is. We coach our clients on the organic side if they want to post, if they want to grow that.
We still have clients. We do all their content for them. But the majority of our work now is ads. So we build the ad campaigns, all the media for those ad campaigns. We manage them every day. We optimize them every day. And we get the important things, whether that's leads or sales or filling events, whatever it is. That's what we do.
So at what point do you think then that somebody should outsource their social media marketing?
Right. That's a big one. I mean, I'm a big, like, I read this book called The E-Myth. I don't know if you heard of that, by, I believe, Michael Gerber. And he's a big proponent of finding the things in your business that you can kind of systematize and systematize yourself out of. So sometimes doing your own social media becomes a hindrance. And that's when you're busy, you're becoming successful, you have a lot of deals on the table as an investor, you have a lot of properties going. Maybe it's not the best thing to be spending an hour every day running this stuff, right? Because it can be done better by someone like us if you have the money. So you outsource it when you run out of time, but you have money. You go, I can't do this every day anymore, but I have a budget. I can spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to have someone else do it for me. That's time to outsource. Don't keep hanging on. There's some parts you can do on your own. And if you hire and you outsource an agency, they'll coach you on that. Like, hey, you could still do this part, but at least everything else, they can do the strategy for you. They can do the content. They can do the ads. And you can just deal with the business, handle the leads, handle the sales, find the deals.
Okay. And what would you say, I mean, maybe consequence is a harsh word, but what would you say is the consequences of not integrating any social media marketing into your real estate business at all?
It can be almost deadly going forward. It can be completely disastrous. And the reason I say that, because people right now in their heads are going to say this, but I built mine and didn't use it. But my friend built his, but my dad built his real estate empire without it. That's because it didn't matter back then. But every year that goes by, it's becoming more and more and more important. So you might have been able to make it work 5 years ago, but you won't make it work 5 years out from now. If you don't start, because this is how, it's not an app. It's not just a fun tool. It's how we're communicating. If you look at the patterns of every single person now, we are not just spending hours on TV. We're not just spending hours on computer. We're consuming social. People are addicted to opening that Instagram feed, that Facebook feed. That's where we are. So forget the app. It's consumer behavior. It's communication. People are spending time there. And if you're not there, the point is someone else will be. And they'll find them before they find you. And you'll feel that 5 years from now. And we look at the power of it now with people like Grant Cardone, if you're familiar. He started Cardone Capital, which is the big real estate business. He went from a couple million in holdings in the last 5 years to now 900 million, or just closing on $1 billion in assets under management, almost exclusively through the reach he had through social media. He was able to fill events day after day. He's now opened it up to non-accredited investors. Any person in the world can invest in his funds. He did that so fast because he spends $1 million a month on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, and his audience is so big. You'd never do that without that. It's impossible. But what you do is you create celebrityism. Social media lets you become an authority, a celebrity, and have power very quickly. And if you don't, your competitor will, and that's why it's not going to work. It's detrimental. If you really want to succeed at this game, it's going to be detrimental.
So I got to step up my game a little bit. That's for sure.
So if you want to get to 900 million in holdings, yes, probably.
Yeah. Listen, if you want to get to 100 million, which is a small target.
It wouldn't be possible necessarily without social, but certainly you're missing a big, somewhat easy part of it that's going to help you get there. That's a huge part of the personal brand, right? Which is
huge,
which is massive.
Huge. And sorry, I was just gonna say, and the ads part of it, like it's basically, you gotta look at it like this. If you're trying to get to the second floor of a building, you have two options. There's stairs. Okay, maybe not second floor. Let's say it's 20 floors. You're trying to get 20 floors up a building, and you have stairs and you have an elevator. They both may get you there, but why the hell would you take the stairs if you're trying to get to the top as fast as possible? If there's a faster route, you take the elevator. That's kind of what it is. So I'm not saying it's impossible without it, but the point is other people are riding the elevator and you're taking the stairs and you're trying to compete. Doesn't make sense.
So what is you kind of touched on there with the Grant Cardone stuff. What's the power of personal brands today, and how does social tie into that? And maybe another thing to add to that is like, how does that compare to doing someone just focusing on their website and Google ads or something like that, aside from the social side of it? How does that all work?
Right. So yeah, I was with a few investors yesterday. We were playing golf, and this topic kind of came up quite a bit. And the way I look at it is, there's multiple strategies to market your business. There's multiple ways to drive traffic, leads, and sales to your business. There's not just one. I'm not going to pretend social media is the only one, because it's not. There's SEO, there's Google AdWords, there's just general content marketing, there's affiliate marketing. Like, you can go on all day. And they all work. They're all going to work. But the thing is, you have to pick one, and they're all going to be different. It's just, in my experience, personal brands and social media have been one of the most powerful. They've been, for me, one of the fastest, measurable, controllable. So, for example, SEO is so powerful, but it's something you build over time through content, through consistency, through optimization. And it's kind of a thing that happens to you. You don't really control it. You get to a certain point and a bunch of traffic starts coming in, and it's fantastic. But what people have seen multiple times is Google changes an algorithm or something, and your SEO drops overnight and half your business disappears. And you're really at the whim of those guys. You're at the whim of your own optimization, of your own website. And what it is, it's basically is demand fulfillment. The same thing with Google AdWords. You're fulfilling demand. So there's someone out there searching, and you're coming up in that search. Now, social media is a little different, because you're building something and it's demand generation. You're creating. You're putting something in front of people who are not yet searching, and going through this kind of tact of persuasion to convince them that they need to come through, that they need something from you. And the reason I like that better, and that's with personal brand, and that's with ads, that's with everything, I like that better because you control it. You can build the system, test it, run it, find what works, turn it on and off as you please, increase the budget on and off when you want more or less, and it's consistent. It's I build it. It's an engine that I can keep myself, and I don't have to wait for someone else to send me anything. I can just make it. Like, you can build an ad campaign in 3 days and have leads on day 4. It doesn't take 4 months or 3 months. Now, it gets better month by month, but it doesn't take long. So I love that control. And personal brand, so that's ads. Personal brands add so much credibility and trust. So when people do see your ads, even if your main strategy right now is SEO, having a personal brand on social media will only help you 10x that, because when people find you, because you're fulfilling the demand, and then they go through your social media and they see, wow, this person's like legit. Like, this guy's got followers, engagement, he's growing, he's serious, he has great content. That's going to solidify your position as an authority, as an expert, even more. And that's going to help you close deals faster, bigger deals, better deals. So that personal brand, they both work together. I just personally choose social media because I love it. I love that whole aspect.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I agree. So obviously you got to have the brand going in order to do anything big like Grant Cardone style or Gary Vee. I mean, you can't be anywhere without that. I like Facebook too. I think that's for most people, I think, would you agree, for most people, that's kind of the starting point for this?
Yeah, Facebook is powerful because everybody's on it. And it's funny because people will say, oh, but who's going on Facebook to find JV deals? It doesn't matter. Sometimes we do this thing in our head where we like somehow separate people in business from people. They're still people. If they're on Facebook, it doesn't matter if they're the investor or they're the Queen of England or they're a mechanic. If they're on Facebook for any reason, they're reachable. They don't necessarily have, that's why I say demand generation. Maybe they're on Facebook to see their kids' pictures, but now I'm hitting them with an ad campaign. And because they're an investor, it speaks to them and it interests them and they're going to go through it. So it doesn't matter if they're there for deals or not. We're going to make them be there for deals. So Facebook is powerful. It's powerful for that reason because most people are on it. You got over 2 billion people using it every single month. The freaking world's on it. So yeah, it's super powerful. And it integrates with everything else like Instagram, right? You can run both at the same time now.
That's so what I like too. Exactly, yeah.
When people are on Facebook, they are actually a little more open to suggestion, I guess is a good way of putting it. And so when your ad pops up, you don't get quite as annoyed when you're somewhere on like Facebook as you would when you're trying to do some research on, say, some other website, right?
100%.
People that are on Facebook, they're relaxing, they've got the time, they're taking stuff in, and that is able to allow you to be more influential with whatever you put on to any kind of social media, I think.
Oh, 100%. Because you're not necessarily interrupting. Even sometimes YouTube can feel like an interruption where you're trying to watch this video you're just waiting for, and then it's ad because you're like, shit, I gotta wait 30 seconds. But on Facebook, you're scrolling, you're looking at your friend's content, and you don't even realize it sometimes, but there's these ads coming up within the content that just look like more content. And when it's done really well, it's not an interruption. It's sometimes welcome, right? Scott McGilvery had a lot of success with Facebook ads, filling the entire top end of his funnel and getting those, or whatever they were called, events filled up. His very first tier of those free events, it was all Facebook, Instagram advertising. Like, he just loaded it up, right? Because you're scrolling, and if you have real estate in your mind and you're scrolling and you see free workshop and training with Scott McGilvery, you're like, oh, that's cool. Click and sign up. It's wanted. It's not interrupting me. It's just in my feed and I'm seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. how can your company help investors looking to build their brand then and also grow on social media?
Yeah. So two big ways. The first part is people can come to us and we sit down and we determine their goals. They tell us what they want. So wherever they are right now, maybe they're just building their list out. Maybe they want a consistent stream of new JV partners. Maybe they just have a bunch of deals already and they need help getting tenants in these deals. Maybe they're trying to build their personal brand. Whatever the goal is, they come to us. We'll build a strategy for these investors. Whatever you want to do, we'll build a strategy for you. And then we'll actually take over and execute. So if you come to me and go, you want more JV deals, you come to us, we sit down, we talk through the process, we sign you on, we'll build your funnel, we'll build your landing pages, we'll build all your ads to drive traffic to your landing pages, we'll help you shoot the video, and all you'll know is all that'll get done, and you'll get your leads every day for JVs. So it's that simple. Whatever your goal is as an investor, you come to us, we're gonna build you a system through social media to get you to that goal. And we're so flexible. It's whatever you want. If you want more, you have a newsletter, you want to grow that to 10,000 people real quick, we can do that for you. You just care about your awareness, you want to get those followers up real quick, we can do that. Even, I don't advise it, but if you want to do that, we can do that. So whatever your goal ends up being, and we've done as simple as, like I said, someone that just says, hey, I have a bunch of properties we just got to get tenants in there. Or every month I have a couple new properties that we struggle to get tenants in because we're buying so many. We can make Facebook systems to just, get your tenants in, pre-screen them, get them in front, get them to whatever it is. Anything you could imagine. You got an event going you want to fill out, we can do that for you. Anything that you need to happen as a business goal, that you need to get people or attention to something, we do that with social media.
Beautiful. And you've got a couple of events coming up as well.
I do. Yeah, I'm really excited. So I did a lot of events earlier. Like I spoke in Vegas, Toronto, all over. And I stopped for a while because we got so busy. I'm like, I can't do these free events anymore. But there's been a lot of demand, a lot of people talking about it. So we decided to do sort of what I'm calling a tour. So now instead of just kind of sticking even to Barrie, which I was doing a lot of my little ones at, we're doing 4 events. We're doing Barrie, we're doing Vaughan, we're doing Toronto, and we're actually doing Oakville as well. So this is all between now and December. I'll give you all those links after. You can put it, I guess, below somewhere. But basically what they're going to be is we're going to be talking how to implement a 7-figure social media system in your business. Doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent, if you're a real estate investor, any business at all, whatever business you're running, we're going to, because we literally have a framework, a 3-step system where there's these 3 pieces you have to build and a framework for each one that every successful social media advertising campaign needs. And this is something we do with our clients that we've built 7-figure brands with, that we're going to teach kind of from scratch. It's a 2-hour free workshop. You're not paying anything to be there. These are capped at about 30 people just for venue purposes. So it's intimate with me. I can talk to every single one of you. We're doing 4 of those. So I'd love to fill those up in every single city. 2 of them are already almost full. So 2 we're still selling out, which is the Toronto and the Vaughan are still, and there's still some spaces in Oakville. So check the links wherever Rob's going to put them, or email us at info@suitsocial.com and see if we can send you those links to RSVP, because I'd love to have some of the audience out there too.
Cool. Yeah, if you just click on the link, like we put all everybody's information in the show notes. So whatever links you send us, they'll all be on the show notes for this episode, and anyone can have access to them at any time whenever they're listening to this.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to have some of the audience come out, because I know you guys have a great audience.
And Darren, to clarify too, you have a unique, obviously, tie to real estate and investors in that sense.
Right.
This is for any business, really, right? It's not just for real estate people.
Oh, we work with 8 and 9-figure brands in restaurant industries, in B2B service industries, in things like construction, real estate agents. The just unique thing is real estate investors, because I have the real estate investor mindset. I'm so close to it. There's very few agencies you'll find where the CEO who's running it is actually close as a real estate investor. They don't really understand the unique challenges and thoughts. So there's a value to that, but really it's for any business. Like we work with all kinds of businesses.
I'm looking here and I see you've got a bunch of other events too, or other things that you can offer here. Like, what is this? You got a newsletter. So I guess if people go to the website. They get your newsletter. Yep. We have a weekly newsletter. It goes out every Thursday morning. It has new content, blogs, inspirational quotes, video training. You just go right to our website. You scroll down a bit. There's a big sign up right there on suitsocial.com. They can sign up for that. We have a few little ebooks. We have a blog that's published every single week. You can just get little fun tips here and there. Yeah, there's all kinds of things. It says you're working on an academy. We're working on an academy. So this is a really big one. Actually, I think I can hook you guys up with something on this. So our goal, we have a lot of people that come to us and can't afford to work with an agency. They're just new entrepreneurs. Like they're making less than even our retainer is. So it's just not possible. But we want to help them. We still want to help them. And they have lots of time on their hands. So we thought, why don't we build an academy where we can teach people the foundations of every single platform, how to use Instagram for business, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that.
So we started that. The only one I fully finished so far is the Instagram course. So we have about a 6-hour training program on how to use Instagram and Instagram ads for business. That's up. It's still kind of in beta, but maybe what I'll do is I'll give you a link to that. So it's a $500 program. We did originally a beta launch for $99. I think I can bring that back. I'll do a coupon code like breakthrough or something. We'll figure it out. And then if anyone wants to grab that, we can put that link up. They can grab that. It's a long program. It has quizzes, certifications. Like it's a legit fun program. So if you want to know more about Instagram, we have that up, but hopefully by next year, we have all of them up. So the goal is have this whole academy. You can go in and learn anything you want about any social media channel from somebody who's actually running an agency, working on dozens and dozens of businesses at a time. So it's valuable.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us. Is that the discovery session? Is that what that is?
Nope. The discovery session is the best part. So the discovery session is back to working with our agency. The first step everybody goes through. So if you decide you want to work with Suit Social, you want our help managing your social media as an agency, the first step is you book a discovery session. So that basically is a 2-hour meeting with us. It's usually in-house with a few of our team members or via Skype if you're farther away and you can't make it. And it's 2 hours. And we go through your entire brand. We help you set your goals, your objectives, your value proposition, your positioning, your messaging, your like full target market. Basically, you have a lot of thoughts as an entrepreneur in your head. You have a lot of things that you're not clear on. You need clarity. They're keeping you up at night. We help you distill that down and really figure out what it is you're going to need to do from a social media advertising perspective to make that successful. That's the first step you go through. And 99.9% of people that go through that then sign with us and say, I love that. You guys execute. And that's how you start working with us. That's the first step.
Well, that's perfect. And you know what else is great too, is that now that everyone's listened to this, they can also get a 15-minute free call with you.
Yep.
Or someone on your team, I guess.
Yep.
And they're going to be able to skip all of this stuff that they've already learned from you on this call here.
Yep.
And go straight to the specific things that they identify with for their business. So that's perfect. Thank you.
You got it. Yeah. Anyone who's listening to this, you can book that exploration session. I'll do it. If you mention when you book it that you're from Breakthrough Realty, I'll do it personally with you guys. If you listen to the podcast. So it'll be 50 minutes with me and we'll just chat. We'll chat it up. I'll see what your problems are. I'll see if I can help you out and get you in the right direction.
And how do they book that call?
So I'll give you a link for that too. That'll be on our website. We'll have a page for it. You put in your information, you tell us where you heard it from, and we'll set you up.
Perfect.
I'll send you all the links.
There's quite a few links here.
Quite a few links. You can pick and choose.
Yeah, we'll get those all in the show notes. That's amazing.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I want to give as much as possible, right? Like if we have people's attention right now, if we can help them anyway from top to bottom, I want to help as many people as we possibly can.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, we've already covered that. So I don't think we had a whole heck of a lot other than, I guess, as a general overview, just for those people maybe who want to write it down right now. What's the best way that they would get in touch with you?
Oh, the best way to get, so probably email me at Darren, so it's DARREN @suitssocial.com. That's just my direct email. You can call me. I don't mind if you guys call me, 647-217-4655. If I'm available, I'll pick it up. If not, someone from the team will call you back. That's going to be probably the easiest way. Or find me on social media. I'm always there. Instagram, Twitter, all those. It's just at Darren Cabral, my full name. And Instagram the most. You find me on Instagram, you'll get a hold of me.
You know what I think is great is that there's a bunch of different options here. It's not like you're saying, you got to come in and we're only dealing with these multi-million-dollar restaurant companies or whatever else it is. It sounds like you've got a tier for anyone, no matter where they are. You can help them out even just a little bit if they want to get started off and maybe prove some kind of prove it. And then they can build from there and grow from there. So this is great. Thank you for sharing everything today with us. And we'll probably get talking to you again sometime.
Yeah, I hope so, for sure. That'd be great. No, thank you guys so much, Rob and Sandy. That was fantastic. One of my favorite interviews so far.
And Sandy, we're going to ask, how can people get in touch with you?
info@mckrealtynetwork.com or 289-389-6846 or find us on social media, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyone can reach me at rob@mrbreakthrough.ca. And thanks again, everybody. So enjoy this interview and have a great night. Perfect, Darren. Thank you.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Yeah, there was a lot of links there, but hey, it is what it is.
No, I mean, it's great. So whatever, like